Hi, this is Alex Humrick, the Sports Information Director at Chadron State College, and I'm sitting here this morning with Chadron State women's basketball coach Tim Keneally. The Eagles had a 1-1 weekend on the road in Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference, beginning with a 61-49 loss Friday at Colorado State University Pueblo. The Thunderwolves are one of the top teams in the RMAC. Their only two losses in conference heading into the weekend were against Metro State and Fort Lewis, the top two teams in the conference, and that held true later in the week as they also defeated the University of Nebraska-Kearney. The Eagles did a nice job rebounding, though, with a nice 69-57 victory at the University of Colorado at Colorado Springs, and really a nice bounce-back game for the Eagles. Coach, beginning with the game against Pueblo, probably about the first 10 minutes of the first half is part of a game you'd rather not talk about. The Eagles had a tough time scoring, actually down 24-7 at one point. But then you ended the first half on a 14-0 scoring run over, I believe, about 7.5 minutes. Even though you didn't get the win, even though you didn't get back into the game to tie it, you got to be happy with how your girls responded in playing against a tough team.
Yeah, I was proud of them, just with their resolve, their resiliency. We didn't back down. We didn't give up. They kept fighting. And, the defense really picked up in the last 7 minutes, and we were able to hold them scoreless, which got us back in that game. And, even the first 10 to 12 minutes of that game offensively, I know we weren't scoring, but we were still executing and getting real good looks. We were getting kids shots that we want, and in areas on the floor where they're usually knocking down those shots. They just weren't falling, But the kids didn't quit. They didn't give up. We were able to go on a nice run to end the half, and heading into halftime, we were still right in the game.
Both teams struggled shooting in the first half. Chadron State was right at 25%. Colorado State University Pueblo was at 24%. The Thunderwolves, though, did pick it up in the second half, shooting at 46%. The Eagles also picked it up, but they were just at 36%, so that's kind of where the difference is there. Marla Munson had a nice game for Chadron State, finishing with 11 points, 10 rebounds. She also added an assist. And then Caitlin Petrie finished with 18 points, 4 boards. And then Dallas Shaw scored 10 points off the bench, hitting two three-pointers, and from the report that I read on the Pueblo University website, 2 pretty long three-pointers. So some certainly nice things on defense and also offensively.
Yeah, offensively, we just need to knock down open shots. When we were getting good looks, Lexi Smith usually knocks down a few of those open looks she had. And if we get those baskets, I think it's a different game, especially down the stretch where we had to foul. Even up to the last 3 minutes of the game, it was still a good basketball game, and we still had a chance to win it. And, against a team like Pueblo, if you hold them to 61 points, you're doing pretty good. But unfortunately the offense just wasn't there. The shot making just wasn't there.
The Eagles got their offense going against the University of Colorado at Colorado Springs, jumping out to a 34-29 lead at halftime, and then maintained that in the second half and really did a nice job from the foul line in the second half when they had to put the game away, going 20 of 26. They finished 23 of 29 for the game. Coach, really a competitive game for the most part. The Eagles did lead by 12 points, but that was just the final outcome. At the end, Pueblo got whistled for a technical foul, having too many players on the court. You guys then maintained possession and hit free throws. So that's the reason why the lopsided score there at the end. But the University of Colorado Springs actually took a lead about midway through the second half, and your girls just fought back.
Yeah, I thought that we did a much better job of just hitting open shots, and we had some kids really step up. Kata Williams knocked down a 3, Rachel Smith knocked down 1, Marla Munson was 3 of 4, and, at halftime, we made not necessarily made an adjustment, but really told the kids to focus on attacking more and trying to get to the free throw line. I think we only attempted 3 free throws in the first half, and we wanted to be right around 30 for the game. And in the second half, we made an effort to get the ball inside and really attack. And fortunately, we were able to knock down those free throws. But when you shoot 26 free throws in a half, I mean, that's a big jolt in the arm for your offense.
Got a great performance from really all 5 of your starters, scoring 64 of your 69 points. I know in talking to you, sometimes your team probably isn't going to light the nets on fire offensively. So when you get that sort of output from your starters, you got to be happy to see that.
Yeah, very happy. And the other thing we did is we executed down the stretch. I think that they may have had a 1-point lead with about 6 minutes to go in the game, and we tried to make it a point to try to get the ball to Caitlin Petrie inside, and I thought our kids did a great job of finding her in there. And once we got it in there, she was pretty much unguardable. She was either going to make a shot or get fouled. But if the kids on the perimeter aren't doing their job and aren't executing, then we're not able to get those looks late in the game, and that's where we wanted to go, and the kids did a great job doing that.
Yeah, Caitlin Petrie finished with a game-high 24 points, added 10 rebounds for her third double-double of the season, I believe. Rachel Schmidt and Sadie Waugh both scored 10 points. Rachel Schmidt also added 8 rebounds. And then Marla Munson had 13 points. And as Coach mentioned, Kata Williams scored 7. So those 5 women did the bulk of the Eagles' scoring, and really a nice job in a bounce-back game. And really a game that you had to have. You want to split on the road, and that win puts you at 5 and 9 in conference. 5 and 8 in conference, right back in the thick of things.
Yeah, we are, and we've battled back. I think we've won 4 of our last 5 games, and we've put ourselves in a position where, we're right in the mix, and we're playing for something right now, and the kids are pretty motivated and playing hard. But, we have to keep things in perspective right now and focus on what's got us to where we're at this point in the year, and especially with this run we're on. And, I think that's playing each possession, and not necessarily looking to the next game, but within a game, not looking to the next possession and just staying in that moment right now and controlling what we can control, whether it's an offensive possession or defensive possession. And, if we can kind of have that focus and that sense of urgency every single time we're on offense or defense, we're a pretty good team.
The Eagles have another big game coming up this weekend, actually 2 of them, but beginning with Friday's game against Colorado School of Mines. The Ore Diggers are also 5 and 8 in the conference, and there's a ton of teams who are 5 and 8. So Shattern State performs well against those teams that are right in the thick of it with them. They'll be sitting well for postseason opportunities. The Ore Diggers are 6 and 13 overall, as I mentioned, 5 and 8 in the conference. A team Shattern State's pretty familiar with, and a team you guys played a really good game against. They came to Armstrong Gymnasium earlier in the season and came away with a 61-57 victory in overtime. What do you kind of feel that you learned from that game and knowing what to do to get out of there golden with the gym?
I think we have to use our athleticism more. We're a much more athletic team than Mines, and I felt like we didn't, push the tempo like we should have. We need to get the tempo high. We need to get up and down the floor and get some of our athletes in open space. When Mines is able to set up in their half-court defense, they're tough because they're real big inside and they're able to pack it in a little bit on us, and if we're not hitting our outside shots, we struggle. So we really want to get that tempo high, and defensively, we just have to do a better job of defending the paint. They have some good post players that they're able to pound it down low into, and we don't want to have to double team. So I think offensively, just keeping that tempo high and then defensively defending inside are 2 big keys for us.
And then that's followed by a game Saturday night at 5 p.m. against Colorado Christian. The Cougars are currently 9 and 10 on the season, 7 and 6 in the RMAC. And really a tough team, a very talented team. They've won 5 of their last 6 games, including a win over, I believe, then number 2 ranked Metro State. 67-59, so certainly a tough place to play.
Yeah, it is, and they got a pretty unique defense. For that game, the biggest key is going to be ball security. The first time we played them here, I think we had something like 30 turnovers, which led to 41 points off turnovers, and that's a huge stat. When they run a 2-2-1 full court press, they fall back into a pressure 2-3. They have a kid who's leading the conference, and I'd imagine she's up there, in the country as far as steals per game. So offensively, ball security is big, because if we can take care of the basketball, not only are we getting more shots up and scoring more points, they're not able to get out and run, and it really hurts their offense.
Christina Whitelaw is a player Coach mentioned. She's actually averaging just a shade over 4 steals per game, and really she's kind of the straw that stirs the drink. Christian has 238 steals as a team on the season. Their opponents have 157, so she has 80 herself. Basically, that's the difference right there, that one player.
Yeah, it is, and her anticipation's unreal. You have to really be aware of where she's at on the floor, even if she's not guarding you, and even when you drive past her, she has a really good move where she's able to tip the ball out from behind. So this is a kid that you have to pay attention to on the defensive side.
All right, Coach, well, best of luck to you this weekend at the Colorado School of Mines and Colorado Christian.
All right, thanks a lot.